Hi everyone, I'm Nicholas Tutora. Welcome to Tutora Time. Cancel culture. Well, it's all the rage. Yes, the woke mob wants to cancel everything, whether it's actors, actresses, films, directors, cartoons, authors. They want it all canceled if they don't like it. And it's really funny because in the word cancel culture is what they're actually doing. They're not pushing people aside and pushing people out. What they're actually doing is canceling culture. We've seen during this COVID pandemic and the lockdowns and the wokeism of political correctness that art is dying on the vine. The movie V for Vendetta is about the British government that grows into an authoritarian, totalitarian state, and the character V, fighting for freedom, is now classified as the terrorist. And the government uses all kinds of tactics to repress the people, even viruses. Can you even make that movie anymore? Would you be able to? It might not seem as a major thing, but truthfully, art is one of the hallmarks of a civilized society. If there is no art, there is no culture, there is no society. So I just want to read the definition of cancel culture. This is from Wikipedia. I'm just going to read it to you. Cancel culture, or call-out culture, is a modern form of ostracism in which someone is thrust out of social or professional circles, whether it be online, on social media, or in person. Those who are subject to this ostracism are said to have been canceled. They want to cancel people. They want to ostracize people. They want to ridicule people. They're actually the Mean Girls Club. The woke left, which is really fascism, wokeism is fascism, and all they really want to do is mock and cancel and get rid of the people that they don't agree with. Other fascist dictators had ideas like this too. If you don't have freedom of expression in art, then you don't have freedom of expression at all. Art, film, and I'm not talking about junk movies. I'm not talking about celluloid movies. I'm talking about movies that are really a reflection on humanity, because that's what film is supposed to be. Film is supposed to be the reflection of humanity on itself. It's a place where we get to tell stories. It's a place where we get to hold up the mirror to ourselves so we can see back at ourselves. Once you start censoring that, there is no more honest introspection. And canceling culture is the hallmark of theocratic dictatorships. This is what the Taliban does. This is what fundamentalist Islamic countries do. They cancel all culture and anything that doesn't support their narrative. Certain things you're not even allowed to write or say or portray. This is where we're going in America. So TCM, Turner Classic Movies, came out with a list of 18 movies they are examining for political correctness to see if they're even going to carry them anymore. Number one on this list is Gone with the Wind, made in 1939, won Best Picture, probably the greatest movie ever made. It's certainly in the top 3 to 5 greatest movies ever made on anybody's list. The movie takes place from right before the Civil War and goes through Reconstruction of the Civil War. So I guess they want to cancel it because blacks are portrayed as slaves, but historically, unfortunately, blacks were slaves at that time. So how can you make the movie if you can't portray them? The movie also never uses a certain word to describe black people. It made sure that that word did not appear in the script. Included in the movie also, Mammy, who is black, refers to white people as poor white trash, which is very interesting to have the slave character calling Southerners poor white trash. The movie tells such a transformative story that to cancel it would really be a crime. The script, the cinematography, the acting is fantastic in the movie, and the story is an important one and one that must be told. And it's also hysterical. I'm sure the left has no awareness of this, but Hattie McDaniel, who played Mammy in the movie, was the first African-American to win an Academy Award. She won for Best Supporting Actress for her role.
I told you and told you that she can always tell a lady but the way that she eat in front of folks like a bird. And I ain't aiming for you to go to Mr. John Wilkins's and eat like a field hand and gobble like a hog.
Fiddle-dee-dee. Ashley Wilkes told me he likes to see a girl with a healthy appetite.
What gentleman says and what they thinks is two different things. And I ain't noticed Mr. Ashley asking for to marry you.
She was fantastic, and her character is portrayed with dignity as all the other characters in the movie are portrayed. The movie does not talk down to anybody. It just shows the reality of what was happening at the time. Another movie on the list that they want to cancel is Breakfast at Tiffany's. I hadn't seen this movie till recently, and I have to say it was one of the best movies I ever saw. Now, there's no doubt about it, there definitely is an over-the-top portrayal of a Japanese person by, of all people, Mickey Rooney in bad makeup and totally over-the-top performance. So, yeah, it is ridiculous, but it's just showing what the actor or what the movie maker wanted to show at that particular time. He's not really a insightful character. He's supposed to be this kind of annoying neighbor who's complaining about everything over the time. So it really is over the top. There's no doubt about it. But the rest of the movie is fantastic. The acting, again, the cinematography, the film work, the direction. You can't cancel a movie like this. The story is profound about a woman coming to terms with her demons. Art is supposed to show us things that we aren't necessarily comfortable with. Another movie that's on the list is Psycho, Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. I don't have any idea why that would be there. The movie's in black and white. I don't see who it's offending unless you find it offensive that the guy's called a psycho, which he is in the movie. I guess maybe that's the offensive term, just calling somebody psycho. Another film that's on the list is Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? Made in, I believe, 1969, the late 60s. Sidney Poitier, Spencer Tracy, Katharine Hepburn. The movie is about the daughter of a rich white family who falls in love with a black man and the discussions that go on around. The movie was essential. It was essential at the time. It broke down a lot of doors. There's some dialogue in it that's dated, but the movie itself shifted social consciousness to be more accepting, to be more open. Again, that's what art is supposed to do. That's what good film is supposed to do. It's supposed to challenge you. And for the actors and actresses and filmmakers out there who are going along with this cancel culture, how can you have true art if you are not free to express yourself? You can't look back at movies of 50 and 60 years ago and judge them according to today's standards. That's absurd. You should look back at them and understand the times that they were made in and how those thoughts then led to the society we live in now. If you look at TV shows now, films in general, TV commercials, the white male in the commercial, the white male is always some bumbling, stumbling fool who doesn't know which end is up unless he gets help from the woman. So there's a lot of characterizations now that I think are ridiculous and kind of offensive, but I'm not censoring them, nor should I want to. And to the people who are canceling, folks, do you want people 70 years from now to look back at your art and cancel it? Once you've canceled freedom of expression, you're not making film anymore. You're just indoctrinating people. You're just making propaganda film. You're just limited to what you can and can't say. And that is not what America is about. So people, get rid of this cancel culture attitude. Stand up against it. Pretty soon they're going to be canceling everything. There's nothing left on their side. Everybody's been canceled. So everybody who's been canceled, let's come together and keep culture going forward, keep art going forward, because it's really important. It's absolutely shocking to me that during this pandemic, the lockdowns and wokeism, that art has basically disappeared. Film, plays, even TV shows, they basically have dried up. The art world has gone dead, and that is not the mark of a civilized society. Also, the modern art and music that's being put out, like this garbage by Cardi B that's filled with vulgarities and obscenities, that's not intelligent or challenging in any way. So they're not really replacing art with anything of value. They're replacing it with vulgarity and stupidity on a lot of levels. And a lot of the music that was made. A lot of it was sampled from old songs. I think they've run out of things to sample, because how many times can you re-sing Every Breath You Take to a different beat? We need to stand tall in the face of this woke fascist mob. We have to keep creating. Everybody should support the arts and the people who stand up against the cancel culture mob. We don't need to see the same piece of propaganda over and over and over again. Could you even make the miniseries Roots anymore? Would you be allowed to make that? Because that is definitely going to have to depict black people in ways that are not favorable to them. This clampdown of cancel culture is just another form of tyranny, and this country was founded on fighting back against tyranny. Well, I'm Nicholas Tutora, and I'll talk to you again soon on Tutora Time. Hi everyone, it's Nicholas Tutora. Now more than ever, it's so important to keep free speech alive, so make sure you click the subscribe button so you can stay part of our conversation.